Hi, YouTube friends. Hey, you know what? I'm coming at you during this time of quarantine. Of course, everybody. This is one of those things where we are all experiencing the same thing at the same time, and so the other night I did a conference call with my doers, the people that follow me, and I have workshops with all the time. I call them my doers, and so now I'm going to call you all my doers because I am, the do coach. So I thought about it. I said, let me bring this to my YouTube family, to this platform, because what I have to share with you today was so interesting and so eye-opening for me, even though you may have heard similar things before, but what, to me, this just became a very prophetic moment, and I was able to just get some different insight about time and season. So our message today is on time and season, and the more I'm looking at the times that we're in the season that we're in as a country, as the world, this is so important to understand it, individually, what's happening to us individually as well as collectively. So I just wanted to for a few minutes, just bring you a message about time and season. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to go get a blank piece of paper. Just a blank piece of paper. It could be notebook paper, printing paper, whatever. It could just a blank sheet, front and back, nothing that you have written on before. So while you're doing that, I can, just talk to you. I'm gonna give you some time to go get that because, didn't mention that. So go get that blank sheet of paper. But while you're doing that, make sure that you subscribe and share this message and tell, people to come to my channel and encourage them to subscribe because we are doing some different things over here at the Do Coach. And in a minute, I'm going to have information about our weekly opportunities to come and receive a message and just get uplifted and get some inspiration or inspirational thoughts and just different things that we're doing over here at the Do Coach. As a matter of fact, I'm going to start doing a segment with Ask the Do Coach, and you'll be able to send me your questions and I'll address them. And then also I'm going to do bi-monthly conference calls as well as webinar workshops or Zoom workshops. Just trying to figure out the Zoom thing, y'all, to be honest with you. I set up with Zoom, and with us doing homeschooling, my daughter is doing homeschooling, and a lot of their lessons are on Zoom. And lo and behold, Zoom is getting hijacked. So some crazy things are going on. So I'm not sure about Zoom yet, but that just maybe just depends on certain platforms. But I'll let you all know. I definitely will keep you posted. Let me turn around. It seems a little bright here. I'm going to turn around and close this shade and make sure that you all are able to see me. Maybe I need to even, let me see, turn around, and it's pretty bright here, which is great, which is really, really great because it had been raining, which is okay to maybe take away some of the pollen. But I'm going to have to stand up to change this one. Hold on a second. Cool. All right. I hope that's better. Still, I didn't close it all the way. So anyway, just a lot of different things going on here at the Do Coach. So you all should now have your paper, and it's just going to be just a really quick message on time and season because it excited me, and it was a lot of different things that I was getting revelation on about time and season. Okay, so with the blank sheet of paper, what I want you to do is fold your paper in half. You can fold it the long way, or you can fold it halfway that way. However you want to do it, just fold your paper in half. And then when you have that, get your crease and get your center, wherever your center is. Right at the top, time, On one side of it, time, and the other side, season. And the reason why we're going to do this because we're going to separate time from season. Did you know there is a difference between time and season? So that's the reason why I want you to separate the paper. And I'd be interested to know how many of you all did it the long way versus halfway. We'll talk about that. So, okay. So time is existence. Write this down. Under time, you're going to give you're going to write what time is, especially what's going on right now. Time is existence. Time is an appointment. Time has limits. Time will expire. Time is rotating. That means it's just always moving. Just look at the clock. You know, the time is always ticking. You got the long hand and you got the short hand, but you also have the minute hand. And it's constantly moving and moving and moving and moving. Time is set, which is a part of limitation. You got to set time. You got to set appointed time. That's an appointment. But time is what time is. It does exist. It's an appointment. It has limits. Time will expire. I want you to keep that in mind. Everything ain't forever. Time will expire. Time is rotating, so it's always changing. It's going around and around and around. Time is set. You can kill time. That's something within itself. And you can also waste time. Let me deal with killing time. You know how we say, oh, I'm just doing this to kill time. Or I'm wasting time. You may think that's one of the same thing. It can be, but it's really not. When you kill time, you're really what you're doing when you're killing time is just that you are killing time. You're killing opportunity to be productive, to generate things. So when you say, oh, I'm just killing time, that's really time when you can be really productive. When you waste time, that could be a part of killing time, but really it's different. You're spilling it. You're spilling it. You're not treating time the way it should be. You're throwing it out. You're wasting it away. You're not taking the opportunity to do what needs to be done within time, the existing time, the appointed time. You have an appointment. You have the set time. You wasted that. When you killed it, there's no more. You just killed time. You cannot go back and get that time that you should have been doing something. When you waste time, it could have been an appointed time, it could have been a set time, but you wasted that opportunity within that time that was set for you. I just want you to think about that for a minute. Think about that in the content of time and space. Think about it. When you kill time, you're killing opportunity because you choose not to seize the moment. When you waste time, there could have been an appointed time, a set time, an existence, but within that, in that particular setting, you wasted it. We'll get back to that. So seasons. Season is an event. Seasons are measured, change. Seasons are conceptual. I'm going to say that again. Seasons Seasons are an event. Seasons are measured change. And seasons are conceptual. Now, of course, there are four seasons that we know that is generated by Earth, right? Or what we consider, or what we've been told rather, that you have winter, spring, summer, and fall. Well, those seasons do exist. And especially if you live in a place, an area where you have true seasons of life. Um, I live in the part of the country where it may be cold in the morning, and it may be winter in the morning and summer by the nighttime, or vice versa. So, but for those of you that live in an area where you really get to experience all four seasons, that is wonderful. I think that is great. But we're going to talk about how seasons affect us spiritually. And I know that you've all may have already heard this before, but here's the thing. We are in a time and in a season that we need to understand what's going through, because for a lot of us, or for many of you, this may have come overnight, and it did. It happened overnight. So let's understand the seasons that we're in. So when you are in your spiritual fall, this is typically a time when you allow things to just fall away. Maybe, God is allowing things, or calling some things rather, to fall away from your existence, from your life. What could possibly be God, and if you're in the fall of your season, what could he possibly be saying? Let it fall off. Just think about that. Think about that question. You can actually write that. And I hope you all wrote down the explanations or the definitions of time and season. And I can go back over them quickly, but write these things off. So write the word spiritual fall. And what is in your spiritual fall? What is God, the universe, calling for you to let go of? Then you go into your spiritual winter. Now, this is where you're going under seasons. You're writing these things down under your category that says season. Write down the word spiritual winter. So naturally, this is a time to rest. This is typically a time when things are not growing or blooming. And in the natural, things are not growing and blooming outside. And so the ground is resting, the trees are resting, things are resting. Remember, they fell off in the fall. But then now they're resting. This is a time, now write this down, in your spiritual winter. This is a time to take the opportunity to recharge, rejuvenate, and replenish. You're resting. You can do that in your resting state. Okay? And then the next is, and even in the natural, is your springtime. So under seasons, write down your spiritual spring. This is usually when you have a new zest for life, and you feel like you're unstoppable. You out of the house. You haven't been hibernating. You haven't been cooped up. This is the time when you decide to plant things in the natural, and then even in the spiritual time, you are planting. The new ideas are coming up. They may have come up during the fall and in the winter, but now you're implementing them, and you are applying the things that you were thinking about doing, and so on and so forth. It's warm. You want to get out more. You want to do more. You want to become very active, and you even see the insects are active during this time. The butterflies are flying, and the birds are chirping, and just beautiful blooms are coming up. That's really what's happening in your spiritual spring. Then and you can write this down under your spiritual spring. you start to really see God working on our behalf. And we believe everything. We don't have a hard time trusting God. We believe the things that He's saying and He's speaking to us, or the universe, or the things that we're attracting to us. We believe it because we have we have a zest, we have a new zeal. The springtime is a time to build. It really is a time to build, because not too cold, not too hot, in the spiritual sense. You may be in a different place in the country where it might be extremely hot, but you're still in the spring of the season. Write that down. Under the spiritual spring, this is a time to build. Then you go into the summer of your seasons, in the natural season. So typically in the summer of your natural season, this is a time to reap what you've sown, or reap what you've planted during the spiritual spring, or in the natural, because we're looking at natural and spirit during the season time. This is the time to pluck the weeds out, remove things. So the weeds that have grown, not the things that are falling off. See, that's a little bit different than in the spiritual fall and the natural fall. They actually fall off. You got to let them go. They're going to turn brown, and they're going to fall off and blow away. In the summertime, you literally have to go in and pluck these things that are not good for you, that may be stunting the growth. Because remember, in the springtime, you have set up an arena to build. So you got to go remove the weeds. So under the spiritual season, when you're removing the weeds, that could be distractions. That can be things that are stunting your growth. When I say things, that could be people too. So figure out what weeds you need to pluck out. And I want you to definitely write this down under seasons and spiritual summer. If you do the work in plucking the weeds at the beginning of the summer, or when they come up, and you remove distractions, the summer can actually be really good to us. Very good to us. So those are the 4 seasons, in natural as well as spiritual. And the reason why, the revelation I got about time and season during this quarantine time, is the fact that, guess what? We going through all of the seasons at one time under this quarantine. First of all, it happened, lickety split. It seemed like it happened so quick and overnight. And it did. It did. Now, some of us got a little bit of notice here and there. We might not have known what it was, but if you got the ear to hear and the heart to know, you figured out something is going on. Or God allowed us to prepare for something that we didn't even really know we were preparing for. I tell everybody, for whatever reason, the week before, I went to the grocery store and stocked up on food and toilet paper and stuff like that. Now, don't get me wrong. Am I going to try to buy some more? Yeah, just, but I had enough, because as a result, wasn't able to find any of those types of things. So to me, that was God really preparing me for something that I didn't know was getting ready, necessarily know that was getting ready to happen. He just didn't reveal that part to me. So during this quarantine, because of the pandemic that we are experiencing with COVID-19, we're actually going through a spiritual fall, a winter, a spring, and a summer. And right now, what we have experienced is the fall and the winter. There's things that absolutely has to fall off of us. There's things that has to go away. There's things that are turning brown. in the world, in our own personal situations that need to be removed. This is also a time during our spiritual winter that we are learning to cope and operate at home. If you notice, everything is being sent back to the home front and dealing with ourselves at home, because a lot of times we get all our entertainment, our excitement, our being outside of the home. But God says, I need you to go back home. The universe has sent us back home to deal with some things. So now is the time for us to look at some things, replenish, rejuvenate, recreate, recharge, all of that. And we're having to do it from home. Life will never be the same as it was before COVID-19. And it's all about perspective, how you see things. Is it going to be a blessing to you, or is it going to be a curse to you? You determine what this time and season looks like for you. That's why the sons of Issachar reminds us that we have to understand the times and the seasons that we're living in. Everything good comes from God. And sometimes what we think is good is coming from God, or what we think is bad is coming from the devil. But sometimes what we think is bad is God. Think about that in time and season. How are you going to see this COVID-19 quarantine? No, you can't get out. No, you can't freely go anywhere. But is it a bad thing, or is it a God thing? So then you go into it, with this COVID-19, we haven't necessarily experienced the springtime yet, where you get to you feel, you get that zeal, that zest for life. You feel you're unstoppable. You can begin to plan, and or things begin to blossom for you, and so on and so forth. But it's coming. That's why in this time you have to prepare for all of that. That's why God has given us opportunity to make preparations, because spring is coming. We are coming out of this. We are going to get on the other side of through. We are going to get through certain things. And some things are going to fall completely off. Completely off. And that's good. Some of it is going to be really, actually, because it's God, is going to be good for you. You may not see that in the beginning, but I'm here to tell you, in this time of season, it's going to be good. And in the summer, now, I don't want you to get caught up in, by the summertime it's going to be this, but it could be January, and it could be the summer of this COVID-19 over or settled. So I don't want you to get caught up in months, and I'm not talking about June to August being the summer, but what is it in your own spiritual experience? That's why seasons are conceptual. You have to determine what season of life are you operating in, and how to put time with that season. How is it going to exist? Are you going to kill it? Are you going to waste it? Or are you going to allow it to rotate? Or are you going to allow it to be an appointed time for you in that season? That's why they're two different things. There's time and season, but they work together hand in hand. You understand? So that's why it's so important that you really, 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 really have to understand what season you're in. You can be building in the summer, or you could be building with what you think is the summer when you really were in the winter. And so what you have built in the winter should have been built in the summer, and it's not going to really come to pass. And then you're wondering, scratching your head like, well, God, why didn't that happen? Why didn't that happen? So now's the time for those of you all that wanted to start a business or whatever, start writing the vision, make it plain. Start getting your ducks in a row. Start getting your affairs in order. Start getting things together, putting your ideas, creating, writing it on paper. So when the gates open, the flood happens, you'll be a part of that. You'll already be prepared. You'll already have things together because you didn't waste or kill your time and you operated in the right season. And you're ready for the next season of your life because you made preparations. Okay? Well, like I said, I just wanted to come to you for a few minutes and just kind of give you a little bit of time and season and how when God showed it to me, it just really blessed my life and really gave me an understanding how things are and how things can be and how I can really make the best of this time in the season that we're in. And I'm telling you, building, that could be cleaning up, all the above. Give you time to clean out your closets, give you time to clean out your car, give you time to throw away clothes, or not throw away, give away clothes that you are no longer wearing. All of that. This is the time to do that. Writing a book, whatever, putting your plan into action. This is the time and the season for that. So I just wanted to bring that to you. I was encouraged by how God made the revelation to me. So I wanted to encourage all of you all. And so you can know that we are in such a time as this. And we are all in it together. This is one of those things that can't nobody do anything any different than what we're doing. If you do, you working outside of time, God's timing. So I just wanted to bring that to you. Oh, yeah. So if you fold your paper long way versus half like this way, people that fold their paper the long way is usually people that's very organized, very intentional in everything that they're doing. They do step by step. They make preparations, intentionally, on purpose. And they usually, follow steps as they should be. And, people that fold it halfway, listen, it doesn't make it wrong, but usually those people are typically, they'll write stuff down, but they don't necessarily follow the steps as they are written down because it's usually scattered everywhere. So if you fold your paper long way, great. That just means you're very meticulous in particular and do things intentionally. If you fold your paper halfway, this way, that just means that it's nothing bad about that. It just means that you cut corners. Your thoughts are usually all over the place, but it doesn't mean that you don't get to the same results. It just may take you a little more effort. So that's just something I thought that would be fun for you all to know and realize and understand. But again, both ways is fine. It really just depends on you and your character and your personality. So until next time, I am just glad that just glad to be able to come to you all today. And till next time, it has been a pleasure. Visit me at www.thedocoach.com. Listen for my notifications, subscribe, share. Actually, go to www.thedocoach, DOCOACH.com and actually sign up because I can send you out information when we're going to have a call or workshop, so on and so forth. And then, we can just keep in touch. And I'm also getting ready during my different season. I'm getting ready to change my website into a store because I have a lot of writings and teachings and stuff like that I would love to share with you all. And when I say store, it's just some of them you'll be able to get for little or nothing. Some of them, some stuff I'm just gonna allow, just free, whatever. But I would love to hear from you. You can always call us at 832-224-6135. Again, it's been my pleasure. God bless you all. Stay safe and be well. God bless you.